Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So the title of this video may seem like it's going to be something really naughty and 18 and over, but trust me, it's totally PG. So this is a tag video which I have seen a couple of YouTubers doing, and it's just a video of first time questions, which I will link or write down below in the description box in case any of you want to do this tag. And so I thought I would just answer them and see how it goes, and also you can find out a little bit more things about me. Let's just jump straight into the video. First tweet. Okay, so I can't remember exactly. I only made my SoSoraia Twitter, which is linked down below if you want to follow me. Self-promo. Probably about a year ago, or maybe just over a year ago. So not that long ago. So my first tweet was probably around about 2016, maybe 2015. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to take me ages to scroll back and see, so I don't know. First YouTube video. So publicly, my first ever YouTube video, which I have on my channel, is me singing Titanic. That was back in 2009. That is the first video that I have on YouTube. And I'm not even joking, you guys. That video has over 4,000 views. It's the most viewed video on my channel. If you guys want to go and see that, then go check it out. It's a really bad video. I filmed it on a little camera which I had in the spare room, which was pink and purple, and you just have to go and see it, honestly, and leave a comment saying Titanic rules if you watch that video. First person you subscribe to on YouTube. Oh my gosh. One that comes to my head straight away is one of my best friends, Sarah. Because me and her used to upload singing videos on YouTube, and she's the first person that comes to my head that I subscribe to, but I can't actually remember who the first person was. It might have been Justin Bieber. I'm gonna say Sarah, my best friend, because even though she hasn't uploaded on her channel since 2009, because she now has a life, she's married and she's got her hairdressing job and things like that, she still has her channel active. So I think that she was the first person that I subscribed to, but I can't remember. First Facebook profile picture. Okay, so on my private Facebook, I will show you the first picture that I have. I mean, obviously this isn't the first ever Facebook picture, because I'm that sort of person that likes to delete old embarrassing pictures. So the first picture that I have was when I was at university, and I was at a cheerleading sports ball. And we went to this really pretty location, and there was this really cute little dome. And me and my friend Natalie just took loads of pictures there. So this is it. And that was on the 7th of May 2013 that I put that picture up. So there you go. Do you still talk to your first love? No. No. And to be honest, I don't really know if I would call that love. I think when you're younger, you think you're in love, but what is love when you're 18, 17? What was your first alcoholic drink? Oh gosh, I can't actually remember. I mean, whenever we had family parties or events like a New Year's or anything like that, then I'd have a glass of champagne. That counts as alcohol, right? What was your first job? So my first proper job was when I was 14, 15, and I was a waitress for 7 years in the same cafe. I only worked there on weekends, so it was just a Saturday job, but I literally did it for 7 years, and that was my first proper job. What was your first car? Okay, so I am 23 years old. I passed my driving test 4 years ago, and I still haven't had my first car, but I am saving up for one. I have been really good at saving money recently, and I am looking to buy a car this year. So hopefully this year I will have my first car. Who was the first person to text you today? My boyfriend. He always is. He's always the first person to text me, and I'm always the first person to... He's always the first person I text, so... Who is the first person you thought of this morning? It sounds really cheesy, but I honestly always wake up and think about my boyfriend. I don't know if it's because we live far away from each other, because we don't live in the same city. We live 130 miles away from each other. So he is honestly the first person that I think about and the first person that I message in the morning. So, cheese ball. But it's true. Who was your first grade teacher? I honestly cannot remember. I actually went to school in London up until year 4. If you live in the UK, you'll know what I mean by that. And then I moved away from London. So I honestly cannot remember who my first grade teacher was. Where did you go on your first ride on an aeroplane? Portugal, I think. Normally, I'm from Portugal, and normally me and my parents would always travel by car, but there was one year during university where I had to do an international placement, and I chose to go to Portugal because that way I stayed with some family members, and that was the first time as an adult that I had been on a plane. Obviously, I had been on a plane when I moved to England, but I was 4 years old and I can't remember. So if we're counting my first time as when I was a child, then it would have been coming to the UK. If it was as an adult, it would have been going to Portugal. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? Someone that I think I would count as a best friend was probably this girl who I met in my primary school in London called, I think her name was Aaron. And throughout the, couple of years that I was there, me and her lived on the same street. We went to the same primary school. She was, I could say, my best friend. And we would go over to each other's houses. We were in the same classes of what I can remember. And I think she was my first ever best friend. And we would kind of protect each other, and anyone that would bully the other person, we would be there to like stick up for each other. So I can pretty much say that she was, from what I can remember, my first best friend. I moved to the city that I live in now. So when I moved away from London, I was 8. So I didn't have like an email address, I didn't have a phone or anything like that. So we don't speak anymore. Where was your first sleepover? I think my first sleepover was when I was 11 years old, and I slept at a girl called Abby's house who I used to go to school with. I can't really remember. I have got a memory of a sieve when it comes to things like this, but I can remember trying to convince my parents, and they were like, what even is a sleepover? Like, I think people of an older generation, they never had things like that, and so they were really confused as to why I wanted to go and sleep over at a friend's house. And it took a lot of convincing them, especially at the age of 11, going to sleep at someone else's house. They were like, what, why? Even though she only lived a couple of roads away from me. So I think that it was the first sleepover that I ever had. What was the first thing you did this morning? Checked my phone. That's the first thing I do every morning. I check my phone. What was the first concert you ever went to? Oh my gosh, I cannot remember. I have been to so many. I have seen a lot of artists before. The one that I can remember seeing first, like the most vague memory that I have, is Eliza Doolittle. I went to see her, and that was in 2010, I think. I can't think of any concerts that I went to before that. I don't mean. First broken bone. My first and only bone that I've ever broken, although I did break that same bone twice, was a bone in my left arm, and it hurt a lot. If you've never broken a bone before, then count yourself as lucky, and I hope you never have to experience pain like that, because it bloody hurts. First piercing, my ears. I got my ears pierced when I was only very, very young, probably 1 year old. I have pictures where I have my ears pierced, so I can't remember the experience, and I'm glad I can't remember, because I bet that really, really hurt. First foreign country you've gone to? Well, I'm from Portugal, so that was kind of like the first foreign country that I've been to. Does that count? I don't know. But apart from Portugal, the second country that I went to was Italy. I went to Rome in 2013, I want to say, but that could be wrong. And yeah, it's a really beautiful city, and I'm looking to go back there very, very soon. First movie you remember seeing? I remember being on a school trip. I can't remember if this was in London or if this was in the city I'm in now, but I remember going to the cinema and watching The Grinch. And that is like the first memory I have of going to see a movie at the cinema. It was The Grinch. So I don't know why we went to see The Grinch as a school trip, but I can actually remember that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say. When was your first detention? Oh my gosh. Okay, so my first detention was when I was in year 10, or was it 11? It was year 10 or 11, and I was in the middle of like doing my GCSEs and stuff like that. And I decided that I wanted to skive a couple of lessons. And I got into a lot of trouble when I got found out by some teachers. They sent letters home to my parents. Loads of people think that I'm a goody two-shoes, but I went through a phase where I was not a goody two-shoes. And yeah, I got put in detention and isolation as well for a good week, I think. So yeah, my parents were not happy about that. It's not something that I'm proud of, but looking back on it now, you know, we all make mistakes. Watching this and you are currently at school, I wouldn't advise that you skive lessons. It's not worth it at all. Who was your first roommate? I've never really had a roommate. I mean, I share a room with my sister. I'm 23 and I still share a room with my sister. And so she's my roommate, I guess. Although sometimes we're not really mates because she's very messy and I'm very tidy. So it is kind of hard to share a room with her, but what can you do? If you share a room with a sibling, then you will know the pain that I'm going through. If you had one wish, what would it be? I just wish that the world was like a better place, because there's so many crap things going on in the world right now, and I just wish that it wasn't. Like things like poverty, wars, fighting, discrimination, everything like that. There is just no need for those things to happen, and this world could be such a better place if there was just peace and everyone just got along with each other and there was no judging and things like that. So I just wish that this world was just a better place to live in. What was the first sport you were involved in? So in primary school I did quite a lot of running and tennis and basketball. So I was part of a tennis team and I was part of a basketball team, although I wasn't very good at the basketball because I wasn't very tall, and I'm still not very tall. And tennis I did for about 2 years, not professionally, but I did go to a few tennis centres, and I remember meeting a tennis player and he gave me an autograph, but I can't for the life of me remember who it was. And he's probably not even that famous, so yeah. But yeah, I used to love running, short distance running. I was very good at sprints and things like that, 100-meter races. What is the first thing you do when you get home? I just get into my comfies, I take all my makeup off and just make myself feel super, super relaxed. There is nothing better than coming home from work or coming home from the gym and just like dropping your bags, like putting some comfy pajamas on, getting a nice warm cup of tea and taking your makeup off, putting your hair up and just relaxing. And the last question is, when was your first kiss? Oh gosh, it's been about 16. So yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I don't think the guy knew what he was doing, but it's just that feeling of, oh, I've just had my first kiss. I'm a grown up. I can do what I want. But yeah. So that's it, everybody. That was my first time tag. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I ramble on, and also I have a brain like a sieve, so most of these things I couldn't even remember. But I tag you all watching this to do this tag. It's a lot of fun, and leave me some comments below of some of the answers to the questions of the questions. Leave me a big thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new and haven't already. And I will see you guys next week with another video.